What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got the new update, the old piece, coming out on Wednesday. It's really close, like 4 days away. And I want to go over some suggestions for frames and weapons to use in these new bounties. We got 3 new bounty types for this update, and you'll be doing a variety of things. So yeah, we got some overview, some ideas, and some theory crafting for these new bounties. So we'll top right in. Basically some strong frames and some quick builds. Like this, think of it like 10 builds at once. Top 10 frames I'm suggesting for this new update. Before we get into this stuff though, make sure to sub to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, all that kind of stuff. Right, for Warframe content. We'll be covering the new update in depth the moment it comes out, so make sure you're sub to this channel. I appreciate all the support on the recent streams and videos. I should be live tonight with a sponsored stream on the Twitch channel. Alright, so as you can see in the background, we have some gameplay of the new bounties right here. So as far as what you're doing, you're trying to do as many objectives as you can in 12 minutes. Doing those objectives is going to give you, it seems like more loot, but also will give you these buffs, like power strength buffs, to make the final boss fight even easier. So yeah, as you can see in the background right now, they had to like activate a turret thing and then clear the area of enemies. So as far as what you need to do for these bounty types, just like other bounties in Warframe, being mobile is great. Also, being relatively tanky and being able to kill enemies very fast is very important. So that's what we'll be taking into account today when we're going over some of these frames. Now, additionally, since it is a new update with new enemy faction, you're probably going to want to have a loot buffer frame at some point too. So keep that in mind. We're going over some of these frames on this list that, hey, why is Nekros on here? Because these are new enemies and a new tile set, so they will likely drop new loot. But yeah, also there might be lots of resources in the environment too, so xaku could definitely replace a loot buffer frame. All right, so let's hop right into our suggestions here, because this is honestly all we saw about the bounties. So yeah, we got 2 bounty steps right here. Find the stuff and bring it to the other thing, and then also defend the area. There's also going to be another mini boss fight in here too. Bring the energy cores back. So it's not exactly the most complicated stuff. We've done this stuff before, but yeah. Pretty straightforward things. Defend objective, kill enemies, blah. And then I'm going to quickly show this mini boss here that spawns. A mini boss against Ember Prime. So, yeah, we'll have 3 boss fights, not including Ember Prime. She's part of one of the boss fights. It'll be the Prime Vanguard. Let's go over some really powerful frames for this new update that's looking really fun. And yes, there are, like, grapple points and stuff like that. So let's start with... Now, this list is in no particular order, okay, guys? I just wrote down a list of 10 frames I thought I'd recommend to you guys, and here we are with the first one. Nova Prime. Now, Nova Normal would technically work too, but the reason Nova will be so good for this is because her abilities are great for massive battlefields like we're going to be fighting on this one. So her ultimate ability, Molecular Prime, will either slow down enemies or speed them up depending how you push the button, and also it will make them take double damage too. And they're also going to explode on death, making it really easy to just blow everything up basically. So really good on that front. Now, as far as the build for Nova, you also got a wormhole portal, too, to teleport through to get to the next room. This is a relatively large mission tile set, so, yeah, you can even go with further range to have an even farther teleporting portal. But yeah, as far as the idea of the build, I'm not going to go over it too in-depth, but Neutron Star Augment, that's proc Arcane Hotshot really fast. We're going to have massive crit chance with Arcane Hotshot, making it where we can melt down the boss fights really fast, too. As far as our survivability, we've got Arcane Aegis, Brief Respite, Fast Deflection, Vigilante Vigor, and Rolling Guard. Also technically Primary Direction, but you can take Primary Direction off. Shields in Warframe have damage reduction built in, and also her first ability, Null Star, gives you more damage reduction, making you pretty tanky. We've got Nourish from Grendel to get some easy viral damage, and also it does work on your Null Stars to get viral procs out to enemies. So, good stuff. Let's go ahead and show this real quick in the sim. Now, these guys are level 10,000 simulated, so don't worry about the damage of the build. Just more care about what the build's actually doing. So we launched these fire star things, and that would be just more crit, and then we can just one-shot these guys afterwards. So, yeah, really good. Now, if you are going to be playing Nova for this, you might want to bring an AoE weapon, like a rocket launcher pistol, like the Icarius maybe, or maybe a rocket launcher primary, because Nova has good AoE, but she needs to actually kill enemies to get the AoE exploding. So, yeah, you could use her too, technically, as well, but yeah, I think Nova will be great for these bounties. If you want to check out my Nova build video, I'm going to put a link for every frame in this video's build in the comments section, okay? So we've gone over Nova. Nova's going to be really good. Let's move on to the next frame here. That's going to be Nekros Prime. Now, like I said, guys, this is a new mission, or a new update. So there's going to be plenty of new loot. And what does Nekros do? He gives you more loot. So we got the Desecrate ability from Nekros right here. And it will make it, we're in a 66-meter radius with this build. It is a 54% chance to get extra loot from enemies. Additionally, we can also make shadow minions of the enemies too if you felt like it, but we're mainly here just to give extra loot. So you could play Korra as well. You could play Atlas technically for loot buffers, but I think Nekros would be one of the best just because, you know, you don't want to be near every single kill. Like, hey, my Struggle not down, don't kill that guy yet. As long as you're nearby as Nekros, you will be giving your team more loot. Now, this is what I got. This is my go-to Nekros build for like normal missions, but there's plenty of other ways to do this too. You could do a Atlas Petrify Orgaze Nekros build with the Orgaze Augment, and this will give you additional loot. But again, it's going to be more particular. If there's any specific elite enemies we need to farm that are affected by this in the update, this would be a great idea. But yeah, the main build should be fine. So as far as what you do with this one, you use the Petrify ability from Atlas to get more loot chance from enemies. You need to have 40% power strength to make that full, so good luck with that. But yeah, this would be great if you're trying to farm some enemies. Now, maybe don't run Shield Disruption. But yeah, main build here, nourish for some viral on your Akicore or whatever you're using, and just toast them. Pretty good setup, but it's also, you know, more up to personal preference. So as far as the Akicore build on Nekros, I got this one, but I'll show an Akicore build with Saryn later in the video. But yeah, Nekros should be really good because we're going to be getting new loot. Now, some of the things probably won't be able to be desecrated. They usually remember that Nekros exists for a lot of these things, but let's hope they don't for some of these things. All right, moving on to the next frame here. This frame will be another frame great for new updates, not only because of his damage and survivability, but also because of a hidden ability, or hidden passive he has people forget about. So, yeah, we got Dante as the next frame on this list. Now, Dante does a lot of good stuff, but one of the things people forget he does is that his first ability, Noctua, when used with his passive, actually scans enemies into the codex for you. So, if you're getting kills on these enemies with Dante's Exalted Book, it will give you codex scan progress, which will help you know what loot items they drop. Additionally, Dante's other abilities are really, really good. We've got Light Verse giving Overguard and healing. We've got Dark Verse doing slash damage. And we've got his ulti doing a bunch of stuff. Detonating DOTs, giving massive Overguard regen. Dante does a ton of really powerful stuff, and he does them all really, really well. So, yeah, if you want a nice, easy time on the update, and you got a decent Dante build put together, it's going to be a good time for sure. So here is the Dante no helmet build. So you can use his book to scan enemies. And I've also got some other builds here, like a Roar build with no first ability if you already scanned them all, or if you don't feel like scanning them all. And I don't even know what these other ones are. Zombie Dog, Mecha Bark, Pillage. Okay, so just basically use these first two. And as far as how strong Dante is nowadays, if you haven't seen his Noctua, I'm going to build right here for it. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show the Noctua Dante book right now. And you can see how strong it really is nowadays, because it really is good. Now, I will cast some abilities too, because we're playing Dante. Get those birds out. Alright, so as you can see, pretty casual shot right there, just killing everything. Also got Arcane Hot Shot maxed out now too. Those guys should die from like literally one bullet. So yeah, these are simulated level 10,000s. The fire rate's really low, but I usually do use a dog on him with Reinforced Bond. You can also use the Aphentus to buff your fire rate too. So yeah, really strong stuff. It also has an AoE, like Arcaplasmor shot too. That does a lot of damage and also has a relatively wide hitbox. So yeah, good one on that one for sure. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that Dante is extremely powerful, but he is. Alright, moving on to someone that is going to be getting the good glow up in this update. And I know you can't stay away. It's going to be Wisp. Now, Wisp is really good for bounties because she buffs movement speed. She also gives you more tankiness too, but we're more concerned about killing enemies here and getting from point A to point B. So, as far as the Wisp build I'm going to recommend, any Wisp build will do, but the one I usually run for bounties like this is going to be Energized Munitions. So we cast this ability and lets us fire our guns for longer without having to reload. That's really good because Wisp has so much fire rate buff that you can really drain your magazine quickly. But yeah, as far as our mods on here, Sprint Boost to move faster, Fuse Reservoir to get all those motes out right away, and a little bit of range here and there. Arcane Bellicose, because the more HP you have, the more strength you get, and Wisp buffs HP. Let's just go ahead and show this works. I'm using the Aphentus Spear Gun with this build, and I'm using the Icarius secondary with this build. This is a build, actually, let's go with Corrosive for these guys. This is a build meant for just nuking down tons of enemies really fast, and also technically being a support helper in the end, too. So, I put on my Wisp mode, and I resummon the enemies. Now, remember, these guys are level 10,000, technically. But let's just go ahead and see how this works. So, I use a ability, and then I can just spam rocket launcher shots for quite a while. Now, this is with Wisp mode, so you are going to have to reload eventually. But yeah, the enemies in this update will be level 165. These guys are level 230, and they're over-tuned enemies. So, yeah, expect to just blast away everything as Wisp. Not to mention how fast we're moving here. And we can also teleport to our Ghost if we feel like it. So, yeah, lots of versatility with Wisp. Not to mention the Proto-Wisp skin coming out this update, too. Having a Wisp on your team will not be a bad idea at all. All right, moving on to some more frames on here. We're going to go ahead and go over Volt now. Now, Volt is just like Wisp, where he buffs movement speed. But Volt's also going to have the benefit of being faster than Wisp. Not everyone realizes this, but Volt is a lot faster than Wisp as far as his movement speed buffs. He can also give tons of damage, too, with some of his augments. So as far as the Volt build right now, I've got Nourish Wisp, or Nourish Volt. You can go with any helmet you want, but the main draw here is the speed buff with a current speed multiplier 3.8 times. You also got the Electric Shield to buff your amp damage or whatever. You got Shock to buff electric damage. Volt's just really strong. And, you know, there's not really much that needs to be said about Volt besides he's really fast. And moving through these updates, doing as many objectives as you can in 12 minutes should make it where you get more loot. And also, as far as the weapon we've got here, we got the Burstin Prime and Karnan. It was actually being used by the devs in the Volt Prime boss fight we got previewed. But yeah, just basically you want to have a fast-firing, hard-hitting weapon. Burstin's a great choice. As far as the build, I got Corrosive Heat build with the Incarnon form. So really strong stuff here. A fire rate ribbon's great, but any fire rate mod will do. And it's not really about damage right now, it's about how fast you can go. So, yeah, cast that Volt speed and just start moving. So these tile sets will be relatively large, but with frames like Volt and Wisp in your squad, you should be able to get across that mission real quick. So, yeah, not really talking about the damage right now. You can actually throw it on your electric shield and carry it around with you, too, if you want. So, yeah, plenty of good stuff with Volt. He is definitely a very popular frame. And he can do a ton of damage buffing too, so you go ahead and throw on like Nourish and you can't use energy pad while you're in his carrying his shield. Nourish and Shock Trooper, it's a ton of damage. So yeah, good stuff on that front. Not much to say about Volt. Let's move on to the next frame here, Titania. Now, Titania I think might be one of the most meta frames for this because of how fast she is, how good she is at boss fights. We got 3 boss fights, 2 of which are big like monster enemies. So Titania is great against big monster enemies with her Titania Dex Pixia pistols. These things can shoot through level 10,000s in like 1 bullet. Now the element shouldn't really matter, but once we get the actual weakness of the enemies, you could totally make a new build involving the element they're weak to. But for this one, got a blast build, great for a little bit of AoE, which we're going to need in this update. And as far as the build on Titania herself, we got Zata's Whisper, which synergizes well with Blast. Now, the enemies are level 65 on normal paths, so maybe Thermal Sunder can work with the Thermal Sunder ability from Gauss. But yeah, I'm thinking they're going to be more higher level, so I'm thinking Archon build, or maybe even the Endless Bullets, Energized Munitions build. But as far as what this does, if you haven't seen Titania in a while, let's just go ahead and show how she's doing nowadays. Alright, Corrupted Bombard XMS. Get that buff going. Alright, I think we're good. And as you can see, it is kind of messed up how much damage she's doing nowadays. So yeah. And then that will be the same idea with the boss fight at the end. You just fly up to it, melt it down. In the final DPS phase, melt it down with Archwing guns, and there's that. The bounty should be basically done. So really good stuff. You can also get between objectives, probably the fastest of any frame in the game. Just keep in mind, if you are a not very, comfortable playing Titania kind of player, look out for those Wisp modes and that Volt speed, because you might be going faster than you actually were expecting. Alright, moving on to some of my favorite frames for this, and some of the best frames for nuking down enemies, we got Mirage. Now, Mirage is a frame I play probably a little bit too much, but as far as why she's good, just like that Wisp build I showed, we're going to be spamming rocket launchers all over the place. And that will make it we can kill these enemies really, really fast. Mirage is one of the best rocket launcher spammers in the game because of her abilities. We got the first ability, Hall of Mirrors, making illusions that have extra guns. You've got her third ability, Eclipse, giving a massive damage buff. And just like on Wisp, we have Energized Munitions, making it where we can spam more rocket launchers for longer. I have this build on lots of places on my channel, but here's a quick look at it. Of course, it's up to personal preference. If you don't want to run this, you don't want to run that, you can totally run it the way you want. And some players like Arcane Pistolier instead of Arcane Agility. Alright, but as far as what we're doing here, just like Wisp, Aphentis, Icarius, we're doing the exact same thing, but on a different frame. So, yeah, let's go ahead and make sure. Let's see if we can kill all these guys without having to reload once, okay? Because we got a lot less fire rate than Wisp, so it shouldn't be as spammy. Okay. Yeah, we could probably kill them all in one magazine. Okay, so we killed all those guys who are simulated level 10,000s in about 3 bullets. So, you can imagine how it'll be against level 165 enemies and these bounties. You're going to be having a great time with Mirage with a variety of weapons. I like the Icarius, but the Ogress can still work, etc., etc. Alright, moving on to the top 3. Okay, this was not supposed to be in order, but it actually kind of is in order a little bit, but not entirely. We got Cyto 9 is the next one. Now, Cyto 9 is very good for nuking down missions with the Sobek and the Tsar, but another nice thing he can do is he can actually shoot through walls. So, we have this current build. This is for spamming the Tsar with, like, no range at all. Also, we got this build right here with a ton of range that will have a 141-meter scan range through walls. So, when we're learning these new tile sets, this potentially could be pretty helpful. So, let's just go ahead and take a quick look at how this works. And we are currently using Nourish from Grounded because you can't use Roar on sight. So, see this scanner right here? I am seeing the enemies through the wall. When we're going at a new tile set we've never seen before, things like this can be pretty helpful. So, yeah, as far as what we're doing with Sight, I don't know which build we have with the Sobek right now, but the way that Cyto 9 works is that if you have the right buffs up, you can cause AoE explosions with the Sobek just like Saryn and Araxia. So, yeah, I don't think this is the right build, but it might be. But yeah, long story short, it was the wrong build. So, long story short, you want to have Elementalist on your shotgun. You want to have some electric mods too. And the Bane mod will not work, so you might want to put a different mod there, like maybe Prime Point Blank, which is already on here. But yeah, you basically want to have as many electric mods as possible. You want to have Elementalist. If the enemies have a Bane mod, you want to put in a Bane mod, but for this new update, you are not going to have access to that, so maybe just throw on, like, I don't know, like Blaze or something. It doesn't really matter. Maybe Vigilance just applies some fire rate. Yeah, how about some fire rate, actually? Fire rate. And you will be actually shooting through walls of these enemies if you have the right kind of setup. So, now that we have the right build, let's go ahead and show how it works again. Like, a sight will be very good for these updates as far as we can tell. Like, shooting through the walls, you know, what the tile set layout is, will be pretty helpful. Alright, shoot them through the wall. And that should be all of them dead. Once one of them dies, that is. There we go. So yeah, one tap them all with Cyto 9, with the Sobek. Let's go ahead and show the Tsar now. Because these are two weapons he's very, very good with. Alright, I'm not sure which Tsar I use with him, but it's probably this one. Right? Yep, it is. Spam 09. So, spam that Tsar, blow them all up. And preferably, you have these electric purple shards that give you more primary electric damage. That will make it where the electric procs are a lot stronger. Alright, we're doing the same exact thing. Now, also, Cyto 9 does give you ammo back. So if you're having ammo issues, just spam his 2 and you'll no longer have ammo issues. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw on the scanner too, because why not? And there you go, just do that. And when you're in the new bounties, just do this. Spam the 2, infinite Tsar everywhere you look. Infinite death everywhere you look. And also, if you're having survivability issues, just go invisible with him, and you get heals while you're invisible. So yeah, ridiculously strong frame. Honestly, one of the strongest frames in the game. Let's go over the last 2 on this list. And right next to Cyto 9, one of my other favorite frames for the Sobek is going to be Saryn. Now, I know Saryn is not really the most synergistic with this update, but the AoE is definitely there. Just like Sight, she can blow stuff up with the Sobek. 1 acid shell, Sobek shell is all you need to blow them all up. But additionally, she can make use of weapons like the Occucore to be nice and lazy, holding down that trigger, killing everything in sight. So as far as the build right here, this is a build that is meant around not dying, but it can sometimes die still. We've got Brief Respite, Catalyzing Shields, Double Shield Regen mod, and also Arcane Aegis to make it where we are hopefully not dying. We can cast our 2 to get Shield Gate and remove status procs. But the big idea of this is a little bit of power strength here and here to buff our 3rd ability, Toxic Lash, and also Roar. Now, why is Saryn better than Cyto 9 in some ways than with the Acid Shells? because the way that Saryn's 3 works versus the way Sun 9's 2 works, plus elemental mods actually help a lot more on Saryn, but are not the right element for the Sobek, which is going to be Toxin in her sense, and then I think it's Electric for Sight, yeah. So big elemental mods like this one still help her 3, whereas with Sight, it's not going to help as much. Mainly with the DOT, so yeah. What you want here is you want a Toxin Riven if you have it, but you mainly want the Acid Shells Augment mod. So let's just go ahead and show this works. So we got the Core right here too. The Core build, just you want to go with Toxin mods, preferably on Toxin Riven. You want to go for Sentient Surge. You want to go for Beam Range because you need it. Now 28 meters of Beam Range is really not that much, so make sure you have an extra weapon to kill enemies with that's not just 28 meter Core.
There you are.
Yeah, we can cast Venom Dose. Another reason why Saryn is so ridiculously strong. Her Venom Dose augment does give you more Acid Shells damage. Alright, so let's let that guy explode, and they're all dead.
Is it still twitching?
8.5 million damage DOT from 1 shotgun shell. So yeah, as you can see right there, let's go ahead and show the Core now. Same idea, different weapon. Actually, not the same idea at all. Very different idea. This one, instead of them blowing up, you will kill them individually, but once the tentacles get ramped up, you can kill, I think, like 4 enemies at a time. You can throw on some blast, technically, too, if you wanted, but this is working great. We got Viral on here, we got Heat. We got Fortifier to steal Overguard. Remember, there is that new Overguard stealing Arcane. So yeah, Saryn's looking great for this update. And you're also going to probably want the Helios, too, like I said. Let's move on to the last frame that's not an honorable mention, like Xaku or whoever. We got my favorite frame for running bounties. It's Mesa. Yes, Mesa is one of my favorite frames for running bounties, just because, think about it, we're going to be surrounded by enemies here, like they showed in the footage. We're going to be doing objectives that require us to be relatively tanky and not die. We could also have mobility handled for us by jumping on these grapple points. Mesa just sounds perfect for this update. So, as far as what I'm recommending to you on Mesa, the build is very versatile. I like to run the Mesa Augment, lets her walk around her ulti, because it lets you do like backflips in her ulti. But yeah, let's go ahead and show how Mesa is going to work in this update with some of my go-to bounty builds for her. Okay, as far as the Archon shards, you don't need these, but they're great. We have Archon Tauforge Topaz shards, orange shards, that give you more crit chance on secondaries when you get kills with heat procs from enemies getting killed by heat procs. So on this build, this is what I usually run for like Brute Force. We got Dispensary from Protea to drop orbs for us. But there is also that Noko Mushroom ability that still has not gotten patched out. I think it does still give you energy in your ulti, but I'm expecting it to get patched out in this update. But yeah, that's a good one right there. There's also a level 10,000. Where's the level 10,000 build? Not that. That one's still fine. Zata's Whisper is good for Circuit. I don't remember where the build is, but we got Nourish right there. Like, there's so many good Mesa builds. Okay, well, it was here, but it looks like some of the mods got sold. But you can use the Cloaking Bubble of Ivara to go invisible as Mesa. And this will make it where you can really easily kill enemies and not get shot, and not get killed. So yeah, good stuff on that front. If you don't want to help off anything, keep her 3 to prevent damage from bullets. That's totally fine. We also got the pistols as this, Magnetic and Heat. Get that Heat proc to stack up your orange shards, and that's good to go. So yeah, guys, that's basically it for the video. I want to give you a quick overview of what I'm thinking will be good in the new update. And yeah, again, the reason Mesa is so good, she can just auto-turret stuff down, basically. So, you look in their general direction, they're getting shot at, they're getting killed. At level 165, so they're going to die really fast, compared to these guys, at least. And yeah, the update should be really, really fun. I'll see you guys on stream tonight. I'll see you with more videos leading up to the update. They'll die a lot faster than this, don't worry. Leading up to the update. And as far as frames that are also good in the bounties, let me know which frames you guys looking to run. I think Xaku will be really good as well. Alright, guys, take it easy. Peace.